So many of the biggest innovations in healthcare start with those small companies, those small ideas, those really fearless leaders. It's an incredible privilege of the job at Intuitive Ventures to invest in early stage companies, looking at the future of innovation and opportunities to really make an impact.
Cancer is almost like having a weed in your garden. Superficially, it looks like it's gone if you cut it. But if you don't get at the root of the problem, it'll return and spread and cover your entire garden. And that return and spread accounts for 90% of cancer-related deaths. What happens right now is a surgeon will go in, resect the tumor, and then typically suture up the patient. And we thought, wow, that seems like a really big missed opportunity. Instead, we could administer drug right then and right there, exactly where it's needed, exactly when it's needed.
This innovation from Surge Therapeutics, we see it as a step change in the field more broadly, but we also see a super alignment with that mission to reduce the impact of cancer surgery itself.
Instead of thinking about a treatment, we can, for the first time, really think about a cure.
I've always been incredibly passionate about medicine and healthcare. I started my career as a junior doctor. I have the privilege of getting to meet and interact with innovators and visionaries that are driving the future of minimally invasive care. We launched Intuitive Ventures with $100 million of capital to support a portfolio of early stage companies across the different fields that we're going to be backing in minimally invasive care. So Kila Health is one of our earliest investments. It is really a digital health solution embedded within the clinical workflow of a patient journey as someone goes from diagnosis to treatment to follow-up and recovery within the surgical journey. Flywheel is providing the infrastructure to enable collaboration between different stakeholders within the AI and machine learning innovation landscape of healthcare. Endogenics is a company that's in stealth mode. We identified an incredible team, an incredible technology, and an incredible market opportunity in metabolic and GI disease, and a very proprietary route to unlocking value for those through a device-based therapeutic mechanism, really targeted around chronic disease. Surge Therapeutics and their mission couldn't be more aligned towards that minimally invasive goal. In their case, bringing these powerful immunomodulatory agents into the tumor resection workflow, trying to reduce the systemic impact that surgery itself has on a cancer patient's recovery and rehabilitation and their prognosis.
Surge Therapeutics seeks to disrupt how, when, and where cancer immunotherapy is deployed in order to dramatically improve cancer patient survival by preventing post-surgical cancer recurrence.
Still, 50% of patients go and have a surgical treatment. They have their tumor removed, and nearly half of those, that's curative. But if it's not cured, as sometimes happens, there are small numbers of residual cells which get left after the tumor is removed or after you've had radiotherapy or even if you've had chemotherapy.
We developed a biodegradable hydrogel that is thermosensitive, meaning it's a liquid at room temperature that gels at body temperature and is modular. So it can have pretty much any drug that one wants, almost like a fancy version of Jell-O.
Here's an example of what a formulation will look like at room temperature. If I slowly tip it like this, you can see it moving. A surgeon would take this vial from the refrigerator, and the idea is then he would inject the solution at the site where the tumor was, and then it will harden as the body temperature rises. It'll become a gel-like material. It starts to become white, opaque, showing the solution is transitioning to a gel.
How do I put this? There are moonshots in cancer, and there's rooftops. If you put together enough rooftops, it's still very, very valuable for an individual patient.
That's a really exciting moment as an investor when you see that opportunity to collaborate with someone that is that passionate and visionary.
We were fortunate to speak with a number of really elite prospective investors. The relationship with Intuitive Ventures goes far beyond access to capital. We view them as a true partner in our future development plans.
One of the biggest assets we have at Intuitive Ventures is access to Intuitive, our corporate parent. And with that comes the expertise, the networks, the ecosystem of clinical champions, of experts in regulatory reimbursement.
We live in an unprecedented time. This idea of taking very highly innovative approaches is critical to the healthcare system of the future. We'll all benefit from it in the end, there's no question.
We have a small portfolio today, but we see this as the first fund and the first portfolio of investments for a long-term commitment to supporting the innovation ecosystem beyond where Intuitive is as we accelerate the future of minimally invasive care.